Hey guys, so I just want to make a quick video basically going over how you can change some of the labels. I've gotten a few questions regarding how to change the label style over on your plot or your map view. I understand that it looks different in the model versus when you actually move over to your 11 by 17 map view. And changing some of those label styles. So I've actually changed a couple of things already in here. So remember I mentioned in one of the previous videos that you could change your title style and your y-axis style and stuff like that. Your x-axis will not change when you mess around with it. That's because when you generate a profile view, it actually includes something called a band, and there is technically no x-axis. So don't worry about changing the x-axis. That's getting into something a little bit different. But you can see I already changed the label styles on my alignments over here. So when you guys are making and plotting your surfaces and your profile views, these are usually blown up to be pretty much the same exact size as what you're seeing all of these labels over here as well as like your grade percentages and everything. So I've already changed that, and I'm showing that you can do that. So let's actually go over pretty quickly how we want to change this stuff. So we want to change the labels for this profile that we drew in this vertical alignment. So we need to select that and then right click and edit labels. And what we get popping up over here are all the different components that are part of this alignment as far as being a label. So we have lines, grade breaks, crest curves, and sag curves. So as far as lines, the label type that we have is a percent grade. Okay, well then that's our percent grade over here. So what we want to do is go into that. So right click, edit labels, percent grade. So what you can do, you can choose up here to do like your lines, and then you can choose percent grade. I think the easiest way to do it is just go over here and click on this little tag, which is basically your label properties. So it says percent grade, and then we're going to edit this like we've been doing before. So make sure here, we're going to get over the component names in a little bit, but here it's really simple. You already have grade here. We go down to the text height. Let's change this to 0.05 and hit apply. You can see it changes in here. Okay, and apply, and you can see it got smaller. Okay, so grade breaks. Well, grade breaks are your PVIs, your vertical intersections, points of vertical intersection. So here, all we have as far as a PVI are the start and end points. Now remember, I said in this assignment you can put in your own PVIs, and you will get another one of these like label styles over here where you have like a little circular marker and a line shooting up with all of your information of your station, and you can see it's even labeled grade break. So we know that that's what that is. So let's go and change this. So the label style is station over elevation. Okay, so let's edit that. Now already it's a little bit confusing. It gets a little bit confusing because this is the component type, which is the line. So that's technically just the line that's in your in your station. So that's just this line going up. What we want to do is we want to go down, and let's choose PVIS. Okay, so what is PVIS? Well, we're dealing with a PVI, a point of vertical intersection, and S, well, that's most likely going to be our station label. So let's go to the text and change this to 0.05. Okay, and hit apply. Okay, that changed, but this other one didn't change, so this is still big. Because we need to choose our point of vertical intersection elevation. Okay, and you can see that now that's still 1. So I want to change that to 0.05. And hit apply, and hit OK, and apply. Perfect. Now it's smaller. This is looking a lot more readable. And when we have 2 of these profiles within your map view, like I'm asking you guys to do, now they won't look so jumbled and all the words won't be laying over top of each other. But you're still looking at this and you're like, well, this is still there. Why is all this information still large when we just changed that? Well, that's because this isn't a PVI. This is actually a crest curve, as you guys can tell over here. So let me hit OK. This is actually a crest curve. You can see here's the extended lines from the the curve that was drawn in here. So what I'm going to do is go back to the same exact thing I was doing. Right click, edit labels, and I'm dealing with a crest curve. So if you have a sag curve going in the opposite direction, bending down, well, you have to edit that as well. It takes a little bit of time because you have to edit all of these little components, but it's all part of it. So let's go here and let's change what this looks like. So we have our curve data. Well, our curve data is our K value, our length of the vertical curve, the station, elevation, like those two components over there. So let's go over here and go to text height, 0.5 as well. Let's keep it consistent. Hit apply. You can see it changed. Beautiful. And if you want to make sure over here, okay, apply, it changed. Perfect. Okay. Well, we want to change all of those other labels as well. So let's go back in here and see what we can do about that. Well, we have a whole bunch of different things over here. What's nice is that you have this little preview before you actually change anything. So I didn't even know going into this what to change, but it's actually BVCS all the way through EVCE. So if I go to BVCS and I look at the text height, I change that to 0.5, hit apply, we see that it changed a little bit over here. Alright, so now that I have that, I'm going to go to BVCE, 0.5, and hit apply. Alright, so what this stands for is the beginning of vertical curve station, beginning of vertical curve elevation, end of vertical curve station, end of vertical curve elevation. It's like nearly impossible to know what those would mean without kind of looking it up or thinking about like, okay, what am I trying to change here? And then it kind of makes sense once you know a little bit about how Civil 3D actually labels things. So hit apply again. Okay, okay, apply. Look at that, perfect. Now we can move this around. All right, so it still won't fit in there nicely. We would have to make the text a little bit smaller. But now we can actually have a lot more things going on in here and make everything look a little bit nicer. Okay, so when you want to change how long these lines are, if you try to change it yourself over here, this is just a stretch point. That's not going to do anything in changing where this location is, or like where the station location is. So you have to go to your curve and hit edit labels. And remember, we're dealing with grade breaks, so hit station over elevation, that the label editing style, and hit OK. Okay, so let's edit that. All right, so we're looking at the line over here, and not the PVIS or PVIE. So what we need to do is it's saying it's a fixed length of 3 inches. So let's just change that to 1 inch. Hit apply. Look at that. All right, so now it moved. So 1 inch isn't going to do. So let's do 2 inches. Enter. Apply. Okay. Okay. Apply. Okay, that's cool because now it's not sticking up and shooting out like all the way off our map. So that works out well. So hit apply. This you can change just like that. So that's pretty simple. So yeah, that's how you can edit all of your labels in your profile or your map view. That way you guys can clean everything up and make it look pretty nice.